Hi everyone, it's Gabrielle from MyLovi, and today we are going to be making Irish soda bread. More traditional one. There won't be a whole lot of add-ins, and most traditional Irish soda bread only has four ingredients: your flour, your salt, your baking soda, and some buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk readily available, you can always make it just with milk and substituting a portion of it with either lemon juice or vinegar, but it's easy and mostly available in most grocery stores. I have my favorite, which is a little bit more local to me. It's a almost like a full fat and fully cultured, so it doesn't. It's a little bit thicker than most buttermilks that you would see in the stores, but whichever works for you, whether you make it yourself or not, will work perfectly fine. Also, I use a Dutch oven to cook mine. Now, you have these, I use a little bit smaller, but they're really good to keep it. I like a nice round one, but you can definitely cook it on a baking sheet. You can cook it in a flat pan. So whichever is easier for you or the style that you like. It works really good to have with St. Patty's Day, which is coming up here. So, but it's really delicious any time of the year. It's a very, very quick recipe to mix up in a bowl. I will have the recipe listed below so you can definitely follow along. And I would highly recommend to preheat your oven because the buttermilk and the baking soda activate very quickly. You want to make sure you get the full rise from the buttermilk and the baking soda. So I usually preheat my oven way before I start. It usually takes my oven to get to temperature about 10 to 15 minutes. You are cooking it in a very hot oven. It's starting at 450 degrees. So however long it takes your particular oven to get to that temperature, I would start that ahead of time because really it only takes about maybe 5 minutes to get this all together. Some recipes do have, add-ins and stuff like that, but we are just making the traditional. So in a bowl, I will be adding 3.5 cups of unbleached flour, which is 420 grams. I usually like to weigh out my ingredients because it tends to be a little bit more accurate, especially when you are baking. I will have 3/4 of a teaspoon of kosher salt, which is about 3 grams, and I will have 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. And of course, we have 1.5 cups of buttermilk, which is 337 grams. So it works really good. You mix it all up, and then we will just do a quick knead on the counter. But I will show you all that when we get to that section. So see you in a bit. Okay, in this bowl, I do have the 420 grams of unbleached all-purpose flour. I also added my 3 grams of kosher salt, which is 3/4 of a teaspoon. And I've also added my 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. I did whisk it just to make sure it's all mixed in together before I add in my buttermilk. And you want to make sure the buttermilk is ready, your oven is ready, because it really doesn't take very long for any of this to get together, and you want to make sure the activation stays perfect. So I'm going to get a more of a um, kind of a spatula to use because I really want to just mix it in really well. I'm getting in the buttermilk in here, and then I'm just going to really easily mix this up because my oven has gotten to temperature, which is great. And I just want to make sure, and as you can see, it's kind of shaggy in here, which is what you want. And I will get this all out, and we're going to put it out on the counter just to kind of knead it just a little bit, just so it's a little less shaggy. I'll lightly dust my flour surface right here just to kind of get it in here. Of course, I'm wearing dark clothes. That's always fun to have when you're doing something with flour. So I'll just empty it out in here. And just to kind of do a couple of quick kneads in here, as you can see. And we'll just get this all going in here just to kind of get it all together, get all the flour in, make sure everything's getting pretty much activated. Get all that flour in there. And when you activate it, you're actually activating the gluten in here. So, with the flour. So, pretty much got that all kind of all squared away in here. And then we'll plop it into our pan. See you in a second. Okay, I'm just about to put this in here. I did change my pan size because didn't need it as big. I wanted a little bit more round, so I went with a little bit smaller. And now we'll just kind of put it in our oven. And we'll see you back in about 25 minutes. Hi everyone. Okay, so the timer has gone off and let's see how the bread came out. I'll get it out of the oven right now. And one of the first things you want to do is make sure that it has come to temperature. Usually breads like this that don't have a lot of yeast, and there tend to be what we call a wetter bread, like a quick bread. They definitely need to be at least 200 degrees to make sure that all the moisture within it, because you usually have a lot of liquids in there, have actually baked out. So we'll test it. Now let's see. Yep, we are over 200 degrees. So we're at 205, so that's great. So it's done. Let me show you what it looks like. And so if you like a darker crust, I don't as much because I don't want it to be as crumbly. As you can see, it looks really, really good. And I'll take it out of the parchment and put this back on the stove right here. But as you can see, we have a really, really nice Irish soda bread. We'll wait till it really cools down. I'll let it rest for probably 45 minutes or so to make sure it's actually cool before we cut it in. And I'll show you what the finished product looks like in a couple of seconds, at least on video time. But it'll be a little bit till we make sure it's nice and cool. So we'll see you then. Have a good one. Hi again. Well, it has cooled and I did take a slice out of it. And as you can see, it has a really nice crumb, nice color. And it is a really, really easy and very quick bread to make. It goes with just about anything you want to have. It only, as you can see, only took about 5 minutes to put together. Actually, the longest part is waiting, but that you can do something else in. So if you want to learn more about these type of recipes or anything else that we have at MyLovi, you can follow us on our YouTube channel, or you can go visit mylovi.com, check out our blog, and you'll see these recipes and many others, plus links to the various videos for each of our blogs. So have a great day and enjoy some fabulous bread. Have a good one.